Alright, here we are for round number 5. We're finally on the play. Maybe this will be the round. We're playing against Patata Bolente. We've got some mana, we've got some fogs, got some ramp. Looks pretty good to me. And I don't even have to discard when I play my bounce lands here. Although I could discard the Stinkweed Imp at some point if I wanted to. Alright, we've got a Roby's Whisper that very far away from splicing. Okay, we're playing against Tron. I assume this matchup is terrible. Tron is normally a really bad matchup for all decks that are like this one. So my guess would be that it's terrible for this one as well. But you never know. So let's put a swamp on the field. And we'll pass the turn. So any of these mid-rangey kind of decks, like they don't care about Fog. They don't care about Hirobi's Whisper. They don't really care about any of our cards. So I'm guessing this will be a pretty bad matchup. We're just going to get the beatdowns on. 1 damage at a time. Sorry about that. I tried to mute my mic and it didn't mute in time, so you guys get to deal with that sneeze. I didn't push the button hard enough to mute it. So yeah, so we're just chilling here. Opponent pretty decent cards off of the Forbidden Alchemy that they got rid of, so they must have found this map and wanted to keep it. Deep Analysis, better in the graveyard anyway. Let's see if they have another Prophetic Prism or something to play. Nope. Well, they can prohibit our Spore Frog if they want. Otherwise we're getting in there. This looks like it's probably just like a Dinrova Tron list. It might be Kung Fu Tree's list from the challenge. Who knows? Our opponent's draw is very good for a Tron deck. Turn 4 Tron with multiple colors is pretty strong. They didn't really quite get it turn 4 with multiple colors, but they have it now. On turn 5, they could have played any card in their deck that turn. Well, all I know is we're going to make their spells feel real dumb, because they're going to have to be like countering 1 power creatures and fogging 2 power attacks for a while. The problem is, my guess is all of our permanents are going to be bounced in a matter of a couple turns. I can't even kill a Dinrova Horror with this Hirobi's Whisper, unfortunately. Opponent had enough mana to Forbidden Alchemy at the end of turn there and decided not to. Didn't want the extra card. So this looks like it's a Dinrova Horror. It is indeed. We're going to lose our Rot Farm. That's okay. I've got all kinds of cards that I don't want in my hand. I'm happy to discard this Moment's Peace. I don't know. Sure. That's a horror. Another big problem is I can block with Stinkweed Imp, but since it doesn't have Death Touch, they can just attack me and then Ghostly Flicker the Dinrova Horror with the Stinkweed Imp trigger on the stack. So that's pretty bad too. Luckily this can still hit horrors, I guess. Not that it matters. This is not going to resolve or anything like that, but I might as well try, right? I'm playing a wonky deck, so maybe they didn't expect any removal out of my deck and they just spewed this off. Well, it's not that big of a deal. So we still can't do anything about their Pulsamarasso loop unless I draw Bajuka Bug. Okay, Pulsamarasso back to Dinrova Horror isn't a big deal. At least not right away. So we have a pretty slow clock here. Also don't, even if I were playing against a different deck, I don't have a Hanakami, so I wouldn't be able to make a loop anyway. But I think this would have been a pretty decent hand against like Stompy or something. I mean, I've had 6 fogs so far already that I could have played. I'm just going to pick up the forest. I guess I should have played this beforehand. But they're not countering a Spore Frog, and they're not countering... they're not going to like kill any of our stuff anyway. Yeah, so we can probably concede right now. The only thing I have to be aware of is if my opponent like overextends into a Bajuka Bog a bit, that could get them in trouble. Another Death Denied is nothing. We're getting in there. So none of our creatures are going to end up in the graveyard probably, basically at any point. So Death Denied is not going to be very good. It's possible I should just be waiting to get, I don't know, that I could have cast Victim of the Night, I think, on my Stinkweed Imp. That might have been the best choice. So if they try to flicker this, I'm gonna Death Denied, splice the Arobi's Whisper on it. Just Death Denied, nothing back. Teachings, okay. So if this is the Kung Fu Trees list, there's basically no counterspells in it. There's like 1 Prohibit, I think, in the whole list. I think it's the only counterspell. We'll find out about that soon enough. We ran into some matchups that I thought might have been okay for this deck. We ran into multiple creature decks that just attack us, but weren't able to get there. So this is basically the worst part about playing against Tron. They can never figure out their mana, unfortunately. And it drives me insane, because I just have to sit here. Normally I'm at least playing like other blue decks, so I don't feel quite so bad about it. But like when I'm playing this kind of deck, it's just so boring. It's not like Teaching's boring, it's like so much worse than that, because I spend the whole time waiting for them to tap their mana correctly. I don't really spend that much time waiting for them to... I don't spend that much time waiting for them to actually make plays or anything like that. Alright, let's run that out there. So starting next turn, my opponent will be ghostly flickering multiple things into our hand every turn. I'm going to go ahead and Death Denied, back nothing. Cast and Splice. Okay. Okay. Don't really care about the Moments piece in there. It's pretty unimportant. I don't know why that didn't work. Let me quick look. So I think that might be a bug. That seems like a bug, right? because it has a legal target, this mnemonic wall. Like it has a legal target. So anyway, I don't know, maybe I'll be able to file for compensation in this league because of that. So I'll quick I'm gonna quick take a screenshot and then we can move on. Let's quick get a big bit of there. So open this up, new snip, let's get the whole window, click. All right, so I'll find out if that's a bug, and if it is, then we'll file for comp. So I'm pretty prepared to concede this game. I'll just Hirobi's Whisper the mnemonic wall. All right, sorry, chatting with the opponent. Yeah, I actually have a lot of people who watch from Italy, so shout outs to all the Italy people, Italy and Brazil. I think you just have a lot of people who play Pauper in both those places, so a lot of people watch me who live in those places. My opponent just prohibited it. They're not screwing around. Don't care about the Pulse and Marasa that they have in their hand. They're not wasting their time. They're flickering me to death. All right, I'm gonna keep playing out some lands. Let's just attack with everything, man. Pow. Yeah, we're getting in there. So, oh yeah, I forgot this wasn't gonna deal any damage other than kill my Spore Frog. So, I don't know. I could keep playing this game that I have no chance of winning. Yeah, I'm off it. I don't have time to try to time out my opponent or anything. Patata Bolente is the recipient of my salt, so so I guess this is what choking sands are for. So I'm gonna bring those in and the waking nightmares, I guess. Don't really need any fogs at all, so let's take those out. I'd rather have the caustic caterpillars than the fogs. I also don't really like Hirobi's Whisper. It doesn't kill very many things either, but I've already got a lot of bad cards. I guess I wouldn't mind like 2 frogs and cut some of these. All right, let's do it that way. I don't know. This matchup seems just absolutely horrendous, so I don't know exactly how we're gonna win it, but we need to get like obscenely lucky. I'm gonna keep this. Really need to draw a green source, but our only chance to win in a million years is to have Thorin on turn 4. So it looks like our opponent is most likely going to have Tron on time, and I at least have Kodama's Reach on time. So you just saw right there why I a lot of times take my stop off, my begin combat. People are more like people accidentally F6 their turn all the time and they quick save it when you have your begin combat stop on. So if you take that off, then you don't have to worry about it. So my opponent has Tron. Gonna be tough for us to beat that, but we'll see. They don't have a colored source this turn. Might still be okay. So if they have the Prophetic Prism, oh, Signet, even better, sure. They could play Muldrifter this turn. Should make it so I couldn't even play my Thorn. Still have exactly enough for a Muldrifter. Okay, no Muldrifter. So probably they're gonna get an island or a haunted Fengraf, depending on how many. Okay. I guess it doesn't really matter. They don't need to get a haunted Fengraf for anything. They don't have enough mana to prohibit this. So I don't know. Maybe we can get incredibly lucky. Beat them down. So I need my opponent to mill all their power plants with alchemies, and then I Choking Sands the last one, or all the mines, either one. Either one of them they can mill all of, and then I just have to Choking Sands one of them to get them off of Tron. Alright, there's that Muldrifter I was talking about. Got a couple answers to it looks like. Just gonna lead off with just playing a Stinkweed Imp out. This deck doesn't run any removal, so I guess I'm just not that worried about them getting through these. The only thing they have is Dinrova Horror. That'd be the only way they could attack me and get in. It's possible it could have countered this one with a Prohibit and then bounced my first one with Dinrova Horror, which was something I was a little worried about. But I was more worried about them having Ghostly Flicker. So, just leaving it this way. Mismatched Tron lands, come on. It's only acceptable if you have exactly one of each art. I think there's 4 arts, right? Or are there just 3? Well, we'll find out soon enough. Expedition Map means this is not a good card anymore. I think I'm just gonna Rend Flesh this, and then when they try to counter it, I'm gonna Victim of Night it. Okay, no counters. I'm not gonna Choking Sands or anything like that. I want to wait to do that until after they crack this map. My opponent is running low on maps, so it's possible they could just run out of stuff to get. Or like, they run out of ways to find their other... Run out of ways to find their last piece. Pull some rest of that back, sure. Ooh, another Choking Sands, okay. That's another reason not to Choking Sands. I don't know. Maybe I should have hit the island. I could have been decent. If I draw a Caterpillar here, I can hit the Signet and both colored sources. That seems pretty decent. Alright, see if we've got another Muldrifter coming out. Ooh, Mnemonic Wall. Can't beat that. Just gonna get back Pulse. Yep. So I need a Bojuka Bug. And then I need like 3 more Bojuka Bugs. And then I need an instant speedway to use my Bojuka Bug. But when you play a deck like this, you sign up to lose to Tron. Whenever you play a deck that can't kill before turn 5, you're just not realistically going to have a good Tron matchup. Well, I can kill both these Muldrifters. Pretty sure they still have another tower because they got that other art tower. I could actually Choking Sands both of these away. See if my opponent is ghosting my mind right now. Knows that I've double Choking Sands. They grabbed another Shimmering Grotto. Let's just go ahead and kill some of these. I'd rather keep the Roby's Whisper, I suppose. Let's kill the Muldrifter just so they can't take back my Monarch from me. That's a pretty terrible one. All right, my opponent's off Tron. I'm so good at this game, you guys. Took him down. So I expect my opponent, no, they didn't. They discarded that extra tower though. Oh, they do have all the different arts, it looks like. Yeah, 4 different arts. So that's kind of sweet. Thing is, I can still just cast I can still cast the Pulse of Marasa that I know they have. Waking Nightmare is not bad, I guess. So the real problem here is I don't have any clock. Like, it's just so slow. And Death Denied is still just dead card. But I do get to kill the Mnemonic Wall for free pretty much. There's no way to get these back other than with my Scrounger. Did I leave in the Scrounger? Looks like I did. So I'm gonna leave a Choking Sands in here, I guess. Alright, you discard some cards. Let's kill that thing. Okay. Let's see what my opponent wants to do about it. I don't think they have anything they can do. Nope. Alright, we got a brown scale. We've got a clock. Got more of a clock now. I assume they still have Tron. They discarded Dinrova Horror and a Shimmering Grotto. No Tron, at least not until they played that. Very interesting. Interesting that they used the Pulse to get back the mine before knowing what they needed. That's that tower we knew about. Still got a Muldrifter, it looks like. Yep. Alright, well. We got the Black Molten Rain. Look at how incredibly lucky we're getting, and we're still probably just not going to win. I resolved the turn 4 Thorn. I drew all 3 of my Choking Sands while they were stuck on not enough Tron lands of different types. Or what do we have next? Crop rotation, so that's 1 Tron land that they get to get. Deep analysis, sure. So how many of each thing are gone? We've got a mine, a tower, two mines, 2 power plants in the graveyard. All right, let's get in there. I think I'm just gonna get back to Waking Nightmare, probably. I guess it doesn't really do anything though. Okay, Remote Owl cycled. So, no real reason to Waking Nightmare them yet. They're still missing Tron. So that's good for us. That means we still have a small chance. Another Muldrifter, sure. So depending on what they play here, it looks like they found another crop rotation. But they won't have a color here. Unless they have a Prophetic Prism or another Signet. Okay, no colors, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 power exactly. So there's no way for me to do it. If I draw another Hanakami, I can get back my Roby's Whisper and kill the Mulldrifter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But I need the Hanakami to attack. Caustic Caterpillar is not going to do it. Although it's not a bad draw. My opponent sacrificed a lot of their colored sources here. My opponent does have to block, but they can just block the Hanakami. Still, if they block there, I'll get back the Roby's Whisper and kill their Mulldrifter. That's the best block, of course. Should have probably just not attacked with it, but I think it was fine. So my opponent goes to 1. I get to kill this Mulldrifter. And I get to play my Caterpillar and blow up their Simic Signet. Taste it. It's pretty incredible. I think we might actually win this game. I don't know how many fogs they left in. I'm sure my opponent still has some fogs. Prophetic Prism is a bad sign. Definitely a bad sign for us. That's a freebie on colors. Alright, Teaching's gonna grab their Moments piece, I'm sure. I don't have a freebie. Oh, Pulse of Marasa, sure. That isn't actually enough. They're gonna have to get back Tranquil Thicket. That'll put them to 8, and I'm only attacking for 7. Well, they get back, they got a Mnemonic Wall back. I still have lethal here. I have 7 power. They have an island, but that's not enough either. Mnemonic Wall. Getting back Pulse of Marasa. So I can Death Denied, back my Hanakami, get back my Roby's Whisper, and kill my opponent. Looks like we got one. We have a winner. Look at that, I did it. I actually won a game against Tron. So that's 3 games we won. So, you know, we could have in theory won a match at some point in here. And we've still got a chance in this one, I suppose. So I liked our sideboarding there. I might want some more Roby's Whispers over removal, but I did use the removal a few times. Or I don't know if I want the Roby's Whisper over like Spore Frog. Alright, well, we got incredibly lucky. So let's see if we can get incredibly lucky again. Our most likely avenue for winning this game would have been to, winning this match would have been to make our opponent play out the entire game 1. We were pretty far ahead on time, but my time is worth more than that, and I didn't expect to win a second game, so I think this is okay. Just a question of if I want more, like if I want to maybe cut a Death Denied to get another creature in here, or another Roby's Whisper. Let's get another Spore Frog, just so we can beat down. Alrighty, we got a Choking Sands. I've got a Secure Tribe Elder. This is a tough one. If there's a land on top, this isn't that bad of a hand, but I really need to draw like 2 lands out of my first 3. This is the type of hand I think we might have to keep and hope it gets there. Yep, snap, keep. Okay, off to a great start. So the issue is I don't think we can win unless we play a Thorn early, and I only have 2 Thorns, and I don't really want to mulligan to look for a Thorn when I already have it. I'm way more likely to draw lands. So hopefully draw an untapped land here. That's good. It would have been nice to pop that expedition map with my Caterpillar, but it is what it is. Looks like I don't get to do that. But I do get to play the Sakura Tribe Elder now, and then I'll be able to play my Thorn on turn 4. This is interesting. So leaving their map out there again for me to kill with my Caterpillar if I want. If I draw a land, I'll kill the map. I didn't draw a land, so I think I just have to play the Sakura Tribe Elder. So I really need to get this Thorn online right away. That might have been wrong. Again, I should have taken the stop off my begin combat. Although I think my opponent actually just is clicking OK. He's hitting F2 or something. So the problem here is now they can play a Muldrifter. Okay. As long as they don't play a creature, I can get this Thorn down. They shouldn't have any counterspells for it. Alright, opponent, what you got? Prohibit doesn't counter it. Most of the counterspells in that deck don't counter it because they don't play Condescend anymore. So it looks like last game my opponent had all of their... it looks like they had all of their fogs boarded out. Which makes sense. So I think I'm going to be targeting towers this game with the Choking Sands, but next turn I'm probably going to play 2 ramp spells. Get Dinrova Horror on my Rot Farm is pretty brutal. Gonna get rid of Stinkweed Imp. Don't want to dredge it. Just gonna play Steve out there. Play another Rot Farm. Gonna have to discard again, but I'm okay with that. See what I draw here. I might just draw... No, Death Deny might actually be a pretty decent one. Let's dredge and just discard another Stinkweed Imp. I want to get some stuff in here that I can Death Deny back. Although I didn't really get anything. Okay, there's the Muldrifter. I don't have any removal for Muldrifter at this point. Which is pretty rough. See if my opponent attacks. Opponent does. I think I'll just block with the Thorn. I'd rather get the Dinrova Horror off the table. Okay, I think I'm gonna get a Forest. Not dredging. So I guess I'll just play out this Stinkweed Imp. So I do have to decide if the Caterpillar is worth spending on a Prophetic Prism. Okay, they have a Pulse, of course. I think I will pop it off on there right now. But my opponent's going to get to steal my Monarch token, and I can't do anything about it. Nah. Okay, I get another Thorn, so that does give us a little chance again. So I assume my Stinkweed Imp's going back in my hand, and I'll discard a Brown Scale. Honestly, if I were my opponent, I would just have me pick up my Rot Farm. Like, having the Monarch token when you have no lands is just not that impressive anyway. So I'm kind of hoping the Stinkweed Imp gets picked up. Like, my opponent's going to have a lot of cards, but I mean, who knows if that's going to actually translate into a win. So my opponent takes that back. I'm going to play Kodama's Reach and my Stinkweed Imp. See if that gets countered. Nope. So again, the problem with Stinkweed Imp is that a Ghostly Flicker can save their creatures if I block. Like, if I block the Dinrova Horror and kill it, it's not Death Touch, so it won't actually die. Let's see what my opponent's doing here. Deep Analysis, sure. Don't you have enough cards, opponent? Jeez, so greedy. So my opponent attacks with both, I'm just going to take it. With the hopes of attacking back. So they have to discard. But I can discard like a Forbidden Alchemy or something. No, can't really dredge. Drew Stinkweed anyway. So what are the chances this works? I'm guessing 0. There's no removal anywhere. Oh, Moment's Peace. Okay. So they do still have those in. Play the Stinkweed out. Hanakami. Thorn. Thorn worked. I guess I'll dredge this brown scale. Now I have the Hanakami and a Death Denied. I'd like to get some stuff back into my graveyard. Some options, and I'd really like to gain some life as well. So I'm assuming I'm getting Ghostly Flickered here. Getting a Stinkweed put back in my hand. I'll discard a brown scale after he does that. Again, I'm pretty sure my opponent should be just putting my Rot Farm back in my hand. But that's alright. There's a lot of mana. Looks like I'm getting Rolling Thunder to death. So it must be Kung Fu Tree's list. Because it looks exactly the same. So good games. Patata Bolente. Looks like we are dead. Darn, so went 0-5. I did manage to win a couple games in there. And they weren't against like terrible draws or anything. I mean, our opponents had pretty reasonable draws in all those games, and we managed to win them. So anyway, I think the deck has some promise. I'm not sure if it's better than Tortured Existence, because I think instants are even more susceptible. Instants and creatures are more susceptible to hate than enchantments are. So like, people main deck Dispel and people main deck Exclude. So I think you have to be careful about that. So I just want to thank Tides for giving me the deck list. The deck is still sweet. The concept is cool. I don't think it's quite powerful enough, at least not this current build. Obviously, we got beaten down. We even lost to Slivers, which is like an embarrassment. Slivers not a very good deck. And we lost pretty hard to Slivers anyway, despite a number of misplays from our opponent. So if a Fog deck can't beat Red deck wins and can't beat if you can't beat red deck wins and you can't beat slivers, then you need to maybe reconsider, especially like we didn't see any graveyard hate in either of those matches. And maybe I should have mulliganed that game 2 against red deck wins, but it still should have been a little easier to beat that deck. It's kind of the deck we're meant to beat. And they had good draws both times, but still. All their stuff is from attacking, so they didn't burn me once. They just killed me with attacks. So pretty unfortunate that we weren't able to take at least a game out of that one. But we try to, I mean, if you want to play something for some of the free events, it's definitely a cool deck. And if you just want to like make something to mess around with your friends, cool deck to do that with. It's just an interesting concept. People aren't really used to it. No one's prepared for it. The problem is just not quite up to the power level of some of the other decks. I mean, we were dying to that red deck wins deck. If they had played their spells out correctly in that first game, we were going to be dead turn 4, you know? So that's pretty brutal. That's pretty fast compared to like this deck. We're hoping to grind you out super long, but we can't, if we can't even like Kodama's reach on turn 3 without being dead on turn 4, then we're going to be in big trouble. So that's it for this video. Again, let me know if you guys want to see anything in particular. I've gotten some suggestions from you guys. Some people want me to run back some other decks, especially like rebuilt ones. So like the Blue-Red Fairies deck and the, what's it called? Tireless Tribe deck. People wanted to see me play both of those. So I'll probably play kind of the more current versions of those decks at some point. Basically the same deck as before, but they put Augur Bolas in them instead. So I'll definitely take a look at those. And then what else did someone, I don't know. There's a lot of suggestions. I've got them on a list somewhere. So we'll get through some of that stuff. But if there's anything else you want to see in particular, then let me know and I'll try to get to it. And with that, thank you for watching. Again, big thank you to Tides. Thank you for sponsoring this league. I'm sorry I couldn't put up a better performance for you. Maybe I'll get to file for comp for that. I'm pretty sure that was a bug, so we'll see. And yeah, if anyone else wants to sponsor a league, I'll play literally any deck in the league if you pay for my league. So I'm kind of I'm a sellout. So, or like a stipulation league or something. I don't know. I'll do that stuff too. So with that, I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.